Aloha, my ohana. So, I want to share with you two things that I learned at the wellness conference. And I also want to give you two tips to deal with the holiday feast that you might be having. I want to say happy Thanksgiving because this week is Thanksgiving. And you know that you might be stressed out or eating the wrong things or eating too much. So I will give you tips on how to better deal with that if you don't already know these things. So the two things I want to share from the conference is that one is that lobsters are known by these researchers to live hundreds of years, like 500 years. And I had seen in the news that some lobster, they found that they realized, I don't know, he was like 500 years old. But I thought that was like an outlier. I didn't know that that was like common for lobsters. So these researchers looked into, what makes these lobsters be able to live longer. And when they examine them, that they don't have a lot of damage to their cells. And so they have what they call Lobster Tech that has come out of this research. And the other thing, which I kind of knew but didn't know for sure, I guess, that it was a fact that in the Bible, Moses lived for hundreds of years before he died, and people back then actually lived for hundreds of years, like 800 years. I always just thought maybe they calculated things differently back then. So, because I'm like, well, how can people live 800 years when right now, like, I think the oldest person I ever heard of is like 120 years old. So why the big difference, So at this conference, they explained that. They actually kind of like walked through it. So it was kind of cool because it was kind of like a Bible study. So they said, once the flood happened with Noah's Ark, that after that, that's when people started to live shorter lives, for God knows why. So they looked at that and realized, okay, it was possible back then, and lobsters can live long now. So let's see what we can do to extend our lives. Like, what is causing us to only live to 120 at the max? Most of people, I think the average age in America is like 77 or something like that. So they looked at the symptoms of aging. They looked at aging as a disease. And that's actually what they said, that aging is a disease. So that was another mind-blowing thing to me. It was like, I thought aging was just what happened. Like, you're born, you get old, and then you die. And then you go to heaven if you believe in Jesus Christ. So anyway, I was blown away when they said that. And then they went to go ahead and like explain it. So that, like, one of the symptoms is an accumulation of dead cells. So when you're younger, you're able to get rid of dead cells quicker. And I guess it's kind of like your plumbing, like your plumbing gets clogged up with junk, and after a while you have to flush it out, right? Well, that's like something that we just like accepted. Like, just it gets bad, and then you get surgery or you do something to try to fix yourself, right? But ultimately something else is going to go wrong, like arthritis, or your heart goes bad, and you just end up, if you do grow old, you end up just sitting at home and watching the world go by, and that made me depressed to think about that. It's like, I don't want to die slowly. Let's say in my 80s, I want to live a full life up until the end. Like, I want to die doing something, like in a car crash, or doing something, and then let's say something falls on me or whatever. I don't want to die from natural causes, as they call it, or old age. So anyway, I'm looking at my notes here, and so some of the things that they said that we can do right now to help is things that we already have been doing and some of us just aren't doing. Like if you think of like Jack LaLanne, he lived to be in his 90s. And what did he do? He was all about exercise and nutrition. So that was a thing that they've brought up many times as what we need to do. And the other thing was a patch that they developed. This is what it looks like. And you apply it to your body. So I'm going to show you. Well, you just take off the little backing. It has two parts to it. I usually just leave half on there. But just to show you, that's how it looks like. If you take off the whole thing, it looks like a Band-Aid. And they suggest putting on the back of your neck or below your navel. But you can put it anywhere. Like you can put it here. And this is one of the tips I'm going to give you. So when you're stressed out, this point here, it's an acupressure point. And you can just press on this. You don't have to have a patch. But so if you just press on this, it helps to calm you down. And it helps your body to like recover from stress. So having the patch here helps to activate this point without you having to constantly press it. And that's what's nice about these patches, is that they do that. They reflect your own energy back into your body. So that's what this science is about. And I'm not going to get all into how does that all work. There's a video that I will share that actually shows you how this works. And so yeah, that's one of the things. And there's a lot more stuff that I'm going to share with you with one video each day. So please comment on this one. And I forgot the other thing. My other tip for you is when you're eating like a Thanksgiving meal, you're going to be eating a lot, and there's a whole bunch of food that you normally don't eat that's not so healthy for you, So if you're not going to be eating a lot of fresh vegetables like a salad, then you can just make sure you're eating in a 10-hour window. So don't eat beyond. Now, I'm not saying eat constantly for 10 hours. This is what is called intermittent fasting. So like from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., I allow myself to eat. So whenever I want to eat, I eat. It can be 2 meals, it could be 3 meals, it could be, snacking throughout the day or whatever. You want to eat somewhat healthy, but it doesn't have to be like very strict, like I tend to do keto-ish. But if you're just making sure that you're not eating more than 10 or 8 hours, then you're giving your body 14 hours to not have to process food, and that helps with letting your body deal with the toxins and getting rid of the dead cells. So, and that'll help you to not gain weight, because then all that calories that you consumed, then it will be burned in that time that you're doing the intermittent fasting. So if you do that every day, then you're going to be burning fat. So basically that's what the keto style of eating and living is doing the intermittent fasting. So I hope that helps you. So do the 10-hour window of eating, or 8 hours if you can, and then press on this spot. So you can just, I do it like this. So I have my one hand on here, and you can just hold your hands in your lap like this, and nobody will know that you're doing it. And you don't have to press really hard. But so if you want to know more about these patches or anything that I talked about, then please leave a comment down below, and also visit my website, bit.ly/Aloha Jedi. That is bit.ly/ALOHA Alohajedi. So thank you for tuning in to another of my videos, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I wish you the best tomorrow, well, the rest of your life, and be blessed and not stressed. Mahalo.